favorite squirrel.
Usually, sports give us the same adrenaline rush as watching an action-packed movie. Sometimes, though, the inspiring moments of when an underdog wins or a display of amazing sportsmanship give us the same feels as a rom-com. On very, very rare occasions, unfortunate events and bloopers take place, and watching sports suddenly becomes comedic. So today we're taking a look at some of the most absolute funny moments in sports that made us roll on the floor laughing. But before that, a simple reminder on how to enter our brand new giveaway. We will be giving away either an iPhone X Max, the new iPad mini, or a MacBook Pro. It's all your choice. So be sure to leave a like, comment the keyword, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway. It's really that simple. First is that time Nigerian long jumper Blessing Okagbare lost her wig after a long jump attempt. After landing a respectable distance in her first attempt at the Oslo Diamond League, Okagbare's wig came flying off as she landed somewhat awkwardly on the sand. While the scene was absolutely hilarious for the rest of us, the athlete simply put her wig back on and walked off like nothing had happened. What an athlete!
Women's long jump. Looking to get a competition underway. And look what happens.
Second is the time a slam and jam contestant dunked himself right into the basketball hoop. To this day, we still don't know if Nick Corrales meant for any of this to happen. In an entertainment show during a Suns Bobcats game, Corrales suited up for a classic dunk but overshot himself. As a result, his entire body went into and through the actual hoop. He was lucky he was able to wiggle his body out of the basket before the next dunker could cause any more problems for him. This scene is absolutely hilarious. Next is the time that Shaquille O'Neal found the perfect excuse to hug and kiss Daniel Baldwin. You'd think someone as legendary as Big Daddy would no longer be affected if he spotted an actor such as Daniel Baldwin watching him from right under the paint, but you thought wrong. In fact, Shaq found an opportunity to show his fanboy side when he was whistled for a foul right in front of the too good to be true actor. He crawls on his knees, pretends to slip only to enter Daniel Baldwin's embrace. He even kissed the man before he got up and said goodbye.
He was out for 4 with the flu. O'Neal fouled by Pendergrass. And Shaq ends up...
Next, we have this hilarious bodybuilder who's got a figure to die for but can't even open a water bottle. Announcers at this Mets game had a heyday making fun of this strong man who was captured on camera trying to wrestle with a water bottle. After several minutes and countless attempts, he still couldn't get the bottle to open. Here we echo what the commentator just asked. All that working out and you can't open a water bottle?
Oh, come on. Hey,
All that working out and you can't open a water bottle?
Next up, we have one moment that we are really trying not to laugh at but couldn't help ourselves. This was the time Greek stretcher bearers dropped an already injured player while trying to carry him out of the field. The incident occurred during a game between Herzliya and Ahi Nazareth. The eager medical assistants wasted no response time when they spotted one of the players on the ground in pain. Despite their good intentions though, they only made matters worse by dropping the hurt athlete off of the stretcher. This really looks like it would have hurt. Next is that time a man in a Segway almost wiped out Usain Bolt's entire career. At the World Athletics Championships in Beijing, Bolt was walking slowly along the sidelines, tired from smashing all of his opponents in an event, then all of a sudden, a cameraman loses control of his Segway and completely wipes out Usain Bolt in a flurry of events no one could have seen coming. This moment could have easily turned tragic, but luckily Usain was okay. Still, this has got to be one of the most hilarious moments ever in sports history, even though it could have hurt a lot. Speaking of really impressive camera crew, next we have this Olympic cameraman who actually won the race. Could you imagine how difficult it is to be covering a world-class Olympic track and field event where you have to capture footage of the race from start to finish? This means you'd have to run alongside the world's fastest runners. But the cameraman in this video proved that he is up for the challenge. While covering a 10K event where Usain Bolt was competing, the cameraman not only kept up with the runners for most of the race, but he outraced each one of them down the stretch too. It looks like he could have won the race if he was only an official contestant. Could you imagine that?
Can anyone catch Milangeni? Oh, maybe somebody can! Is that our cameraman?
Now we move on to when baseball star Prince Fielder steals nachos from a fan. Some people say this is the most American thing that ever happened at a sporting event, and frankly, we can't argue with it. The Tigers' first baseman ran quite a distance only to fail in catching a would-be foul ball. But he must have thought, might as well grab a mid-game snack on the way back. This fan could not believe what he was seeing when Fielder just up and stole one of his nachos.
Get there, he was the closest. Did Prince just grab a nacho?
I mean, if you're hungry, you gotta eat, right? Next is a classic lesson against celebrating a point too early. Kemba Walker thought he had the shot in the bag, so he turned his back away from the basket and started shimmying. It would have looked totally cool if only the basketball cooperated. Upon realizing that he actually missed the shot he was celebrating, Walker could only laugh at himself along with the rest of us.
The rebounder Richardson. Still an opportunity with a minute to play.
Now let's look at Justin Melton's slam dunk fail. This took place at a slam jam competition in the Philippines. For some reason, this player, who is also known as the Mouse of Quick Melt, thought it would be a good idea to attempt a dunk blindfolded. The result is classic comedy gold that no one can forget to this day.
Gonna be interesting. Sukat pa ni Justin Melton.
Now we have Karim Benzema, who staged an epic celebration which was complete with a run-up to the crowds in the stands before he realized his goal had been disallowed. Completely oblivious that he just made an offside goal, Baldwin let himself drown in all of the glory. The look on his face when he finally realized what was going on is still bringing us to our knees in uncontrollable laughter to this day.
Now it's dawned on him.
Next up, we have Eva Edwards bringing snacks to share with his opponents during weigh-in. You know how boxers are supposed to pose all fierce for that obligatory promotional face-off photo? Well, not one of Eva Edwards' contenders could keep a straight face for it, and Edwards is to blame. He often brings snacks to weigh-ins and offers it to his opponents moments before they're supposed to take the promo picture. Not even stern officials can maintain a poker face once this boxer launches into one of his eating antics.
When did you start with the snacking at the weigh-in?
I really can't remember. It was a couple years ago. I don't remember.
Speaking of immature babies who somehow got promoted as world-class athletes, we have Fabio Fognini pulling down an umpire's sock for no apparent reason. He wasn't mad about anything, nor was he frustrated. It would seem the tennis player only did this for the fun of it. Still not sure why he did it. Either way, it made us laugh. Next up, we have Joe Harding and his admittedly awesome dance moves that ended up in a brutal knockout. After Harding landed a solid hit on his opponent, he started popping out some moves to let everyone know he's feeling good. But that was all Johan Segas needed to find a chink in his armor. Joe hadn't even finished dancing when he found himself sprawled on the floor, knocked out and defeated shamefully. For people who hate arrogance in athletes, this is hilarious, but an also teachable moment nonetheless.
And then a jab to follow it up. Again with the jab.
Back to the Philippines now, when an audience member dressed up as Spider-Man and interrupted an official PBA game. Yeah, this sure doesn't look like your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, since he hit a few players and knocked down a few others before he was finally dragged away from the court. Kinda makes you think what was going on in his head while doing this. I mean, Spider-Man wouldn't be doing any of that.
Spider-Man, who is that? Oh my goodness.
Now we have one of the funniest but also one of the cutest things that ever happened in a collegiate sporting event. During a Kent State Louisville match, the most adorable little squirrel wandered onto the field and scored a touchdown, much to the delight of the home crowd. Even the game announcers were so into it and narrated the little squirrel's successful journey as if it were an actual player. Strange, but funny either way.
Wesley's gonna do it! Oh my goodness, buddy, do it! Do it! Do it! Touchdown!
Next up, we relive one of the Black Mamba's finest moments. May he rest in peace. Back in 2010, Magic forward Matt Barnes faked a hard pass right into Kobe's face in an obvious attempt to taunt Kobe. Amazingly, Kobe didn't flinch, and he didn't even blink at this pathetic attempt to startle him. This is one of the Mamba's craziest on-court moments, which has given birth to a whole new category of memes dedicated just for it.
And he fakes the ball. I mean, somebody...
This is proof that not everyone can officiate a game. Here we see Taylor McLaughlin totally obliterating a finish line girl who was standing in the way of the finish line just as the horde of runners came rushing in to take their wins. It's so frustrating to see that the finish line wasn't ready yet, this close to the final stretch, but we couldn't help but let out a hearty laugh when this happened. Luckily, no one was seriously injured, so we don't have to feel too guilty for laughing too much. Next is another tragic moment that we're only able to laugh about now because it happened a long time ago. If you get an injury while trying to score your team point or while preventing the other team from taking the lead, then you might be remembered as a hero. But what if you tear your hamstring or your ACL while celebrating a point? Bill Gramatica is living proof that if you get injured this way, the world will remember you as nothing more than a basic clown.
The 43-yard field goal. He celebrates like they have won something big. It's only the first.
Next is proof that Roger Federer can pursue a modeling career once he's done with tennis. The world champion enjoyed every moment of his exhibition match against Alexander Zverev, so much that when he noticed a spectator trying so hard to get a good picture of him, Roger struck several Vogue poses to help the fan get a good click. He must have done about 25 unique poses before he stopped.
Claro, posando para
Ahí posa también.
vio que estaba
Dale, una tercera.
la luz ahí prendida.
We just hope that the fan got all the still she wanted. Speaking of taking amazing photos, we next have Sean O'Connell and his weigh-in antics. This boxer has come to be known for his hilarious antics at weigh-ins. From booping his opponent on the nose, to giving out flowers and pulling out his phone for a quick selfie, Sean sure knows how to goof around in the funniest way possible. We imagine it takes out a lot of unnecessary tension before big fights. Or does he do it to frustrate his opponent?
Sean O'Connell's never shied away from having fun at his UFC weigh-ins, whether it's rock, paper, scissors.
Now we have Mehdi Benatia failing to score a handshake from this prize girl. The Juventus ace made quite an entrance at their trophy presentation, so all eyes were on him as he walked towards the podium. This proved unfortunate a few moments later when Benatia extended his hand in an attempt to shake the hands of the hostess. Unfortunately, the defender was left hanging. I would imagine this happens almost all of the time. And finally, wrapping up this list of the funniest moments in sports history is the most ridiculous NBA travel ever, courtesy of Russell Westbrook. Counting down his steps, he took not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 full steps from the inbound before he made a single dribble. Even his defender, Kevin Durant, cannot believe what he just saw. Did Russell think he could get away with it? Did it slip his mind that he was in an actual game and not in a scrimmage? Maybe we'll never know, but at least we can laugh about it. So as you can see, there are some really funny moments in sports that happen quite often, and it can really make us laugh. So as you can see throughout this video, sports can be one of the most entertaining things to watch. Whether we like the actual sports that's on, or we're just looking for something to pass time, it's the best way to do so. Sports are available to all ages and genders, and thankfully now we have more access than ever to watch some of the best moments and highlights. Make sure to stay active and enjoy your favorite sporting moments. Thanks for watching.